Yacht rock, or actually just easy listening music from the 70s. Jimmy Buffett and Margaritaville. And Tiki. Are these things related? Can they commingle together? Can you listen to yacht rock at a tiki bar? Can you listen to Jimmy Buffett at a tiki bar? Is Jimmy Buffett tiki? Is yacht rock tiki? This is what we're going to find out today on Tiki with Ray. Hello everyone, this is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and welcome to my Tiki bedroom. I like to call it Tiki with Ray's Tiki Hideaway. Today, I am honored to have my good friends, Christina and Tom. They have a lot to say, and they moved up to Seattle from, where'd you move from?
Long Beach, California.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the sewer meets the sea.
The sewer meets the sea, is that right?
That's right.
Well, how do you like living up here so far? Do you like the rain?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, tell me.
Well, I don't like the rain. I don't like the gloom. But we met you.
Yeah.
So there is a silver lining to everything.
I am literally Christina and Tom's ray of sunshine.
You're our anchor.
Ray of sunshine.
You're the glue that holds Gilligan's boat together.
I'm the glue that holds Gilligan's boat together. Well, the fact that they never got off the island says something.
Well, we haven't quite crashed just yet. We didn't the other day. So, Christina's got her new car, and I've been playing this serious. Now, I finally get, and I wish Tommy was here, but I finally get the yacht rock thing, man.
You like it?
My theory is without yacht rock, punk rock did not exist.
Okay.
Think of the time scale.
I'm listening.
Mid 70s to mid 80s.
Yeah.
So what?
The worst years of my life, Tom. But go ahead.
The
Right.
hatred for the yuppies.
But what exemplified Reagan trickle-down economics yuppie culture? The middle-aged people like our age now that were listening to that stuff. So this was the antithesis.
Wow.
So it's sort of that juxtaposed thing.
Are you writing an essay about this?
No, I'm just saying. And I know you don't care for it.
So do you like that music though?
There's something about it that's
Does it remind you of your
Soothing.
childhood? Does it remind you of your childhood?
Strangely enough, it reminds me of living in Detroit as a kid.
Oh, far away from a yacht.
Well, yeah, because I remember the summer of 1980 when my mom drove me around Detroit the last time, and we went and visited her precinct that she worked at, and what was the guy's name that I can't forget? That song goes da da da.
Oh, no, yeah.
Right. So it's like sort of like yeah.
Oh, you did it pretty good.
That's right. That's right. But
Do you know why it's called yacht rock?
Because all the songs are about sailing and.
No, the whole idea, the reason why it's called yacht rock is because supposedly if you owned a yacht, this is the music that you'd be playing on your yacht.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I thought maybe you might learn to appreciate it more. So I brought you a couple of items so that while you're home alone,
I was wondering why you're walking around
in your tiki hideaway,
that bag.
While you're in your tiki hideaway, you can immerse yourself in
What is this? What do we got here?
Jerry Rafferty's Night Owl.
Oh God.
This is very not Tiki. This is not Tiki. Oh, that clashes
This is not
horribly with your shirt. Look how bad that looks with this. Oh.
And I brought you this hat, courtesy of the
Captain and
Firkins.
Tennille.
Captain and Tennille. Oh my God, I remember this.
Do it to me one more time. Once is.
So this is like.
Is this Tom? No, Christina.
Oh no.
Christina.
I can't look at you like that.
Christina, I have one question to ask you.
No.
Now.
Does this hat make my ass look big?
It makes your beard look fuller.
Does this ass make my hat look big? No.
Does my ass make this hat look big?
You know,
No.
now that I see that and I
It's
think
just
of this,
ridiculous.
I think
Ugh.
of another bastardized child. You know, you take the Yacht Rock and you put the Tiki and you get Jimmy Buffett. So never mind. Let's scrub this whole campaign here.
No. Actually, you're bringing up a good topic. This is actually a topic that's actually pretty controversial in the Tiki community. Well, a lot of people, there's DJs that will go to Tiki events or Tiki bars and they'll play Yacht Rock. Now, the Tiki purists say,
What?
yeah.
Oh, it's like kind of taking a Grom to a scooter rally.
Kind of. Well, the Tiki purists aren't really liking it because normally the music that you would play at a Tiki bar is exotica or surf music, something like that.
You could even get away with
Deadbolt.
psychobilly.
Even psychobilly.
Yeah.
But there's a new group of people coming up where they're into Yacht Rock and they're starting to play that at Tiki. And the question is does it fit? Is it work or not?
No.
What do you think?
There's nothing to do with it.
Why do you say that?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a hard question for me. I think of like Tiki, surf, all of that, and maybe the only similarity is water, that the boat is on water.
Yeah.
But I don't really equate it to like this raw, like,
Pop.
when you think of Tiki, there's like a dangerous element to
Yep.
it, you know, and a yacht to me is just like safe, rich people
Yeah.
having fun, and maybe the most that could happen is like a drug OD. It would be the danger.
You read my mind. I was waiting for cocaine
Yeah.
to be part of the equation somehow.
Yeah, but like Tiki was like pop culture in the '60s, but it was like it was pop. It was popular because there was this element of sort of like danger. Like, yeah, I view it as like a bunch of guys that were over in the South Pacific in World War II. And
Yep.
20 years later, they're like, hey, I remember hanging out in, Borneo drinking blood out of a coconut,
You're right. You're absolutely right. And here's the thing. Tiki in its heyday was at its top, at its prime in the 50s and the 60s. So a lot of mid-century culture comes with Tiki. So a lot of music like Martin Denny, Les Baxter, a lot of that surf music was playing around at this time. Now the Yacht Rock stuff came out in the 70s and into the 80s. And a lot of that music is actually associated with the Jimmy Buffett thing.
And it's kind of like the decline of Tiki
Interesting.
culture as the late 70s into the early 80s, and that's when
Oh.
they started tearing down all the bitchin' bowling alleys.
Totally. Actually,
know?
by the 70s, actually, Tiki started to go out.
Or they started watering down the decor and remodeling all these places and making them look like shit.
That's what I found today, is a bowling alley on my travels.
A Tiki bowling alley.
I don't know if it was Tiki. I didn't go in, but it looked pretty cool. I should have went in, but now I know where it is. It looked very authentic, and like they kept everything the same, so there might be hope. It's not Java Lanes, but
Yeah, I hear you. What the interesting thing is, so you know about there's the whole Jimmy Buffett thing, the parrot head, as they call it. And
I just found out the Pina Colada song is not a Jimmy Buffett song.
no, the Pina
And neither
Colada.
is Margaritaville, right?
No, Margarita.
No, there's another song that isn't his that I thought was his. That
Oh.
I have to wonder, like, what the hell did Jimmy Buffett do then?
Okay, well, quick question. So is the whole Jimmy Buffett thing, the whole Margaritaville thing, Tiki?
No, I think to me it sort of fits
No.
into that sort of like, there was like, with the Yacht Rock thing, there's sort of like this Key West, Key Largo culture
Yep.
of like the 80s,
why
where
would
it's
that
sort of
be
like
anything near
the
Tiki?
South Beach,
Margaritaville.
the Florida Keys and all that damn, when when the Beach Boys made me hate them forever with that Kokomo song.
Oh, I hate that
because
song.
that song. I never liked, but still.
We all know it though. That's
And you're
what's sad.
and
We all
Tom,
know
you're
it.
actually nailing it on the head. Because when it comes to Tiki, okay, word association, Christina. Tiki, name a location.
Hawaii.
Jimmy Buffett.
Florida.
Yeah, exactly. You actually you're talking about music associated with an actual geographic place that's completely different, and you actually nailed it on the head too. It's a different time.
Well, I have a question now.
Sure.
Who started these drinks? Like, who? Is there a specific bartender or
Yes.
mixologist that started these drinks?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know
that is Don Beach.
Oh.
Sailor Jerry.
No, Don Beach of Don the Beachcomber. And here's the funny thing where things get tricky. So when you think of Tiki, you think of the South Pacific, you think of Hawaii, but a lot of these drinks came from the Caribbean. So you got to think this is sort of like around right after Prohibition. And
A lot of people.
whiskey was expensive, but rum was cheap. And that's the reason why Don Beach went with the rum
Well,
drinks.
there was a lot of prohibition tourism too,
So the Mai
particularly
Tai.
to Cuba.
The Mai Tai, they say technically it was actually invented by Victor Bergeron, who was the guy who started Trader Vic's.
This is delicious.
But it's the histories are so intertwined. And then there's also the thing where it's like, well, Don Beach was kind of like, who's the dude who used to do Apple? The guy who died.
Oh,
Steve
Jobs.
Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Don Beach was sort of like the Steve Jobs of like these drinks, because it's like a lot of these Polynesian people,
ingenious.
the guys actually making the drinks in the bar, back behind the bar, were the ones who actually came up with a lot of these drinks.
Yeah.
And Don Beach kind of took the credit for it. It's like, oh, what do you got? What do you got going on there, Manuel? Oh, this is really good.
Hey,
Oh,
well, the guy whose name is on the sign gets,
Yeah.
you know.
And he's like, all right, that's a great drink, and he writes it down like, hey, look at this drink that I just made. It's called a zombie. Yeah, that's it. So the history of tiki is definitely shaky, and it's interesting because when we talk about, you know, is yacht rock tiki is.
I can't
What's this
believe
thing
that. I honestly can't believe that people would even have the nerve to like entwine that with it.
I know. Well, I
It
think
doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with you, and I think what's interesting is that it has to do with everything. It has to do with anything. Think about punk rock. Think about metal. Think about any kind of genre.
Everything is homogenized.
As soon as you start taking away from its core, it starts to lose. It starts to become watered down. And I think the same could be said about tiki. You know, I think you got to a point in like the 70s and the 80s where like when you like, this is a Mai Tai, right? So this is 2 shots of rum, curacao, lime, simple syrup, and an Oja syrup, right? But if you would have ordered a Mai Tai in the 70s and the 80s, all the way up until, well, now, I mean, was that place that we went to?
Chinese
bar.
bar.
Chinese bar. It's just like you go to Mai Tai. The only common ingredient is the rum.
There's lots of booze.
Yeah, it's
Lots
just,
of
in that
booze.
tall glass.
It's
the
a
whole thing is brown,
yeah,
and then the grenadine. I feel like there's grenadine.
yeah. There's no grenadine in a real life. It's crazy. It really is. But so tiki has a very checkered past and potentially a checkered future. Well, thank you guys for coming out and having a drink with me. And I think hopefully we have a little better understanding on the difference between yacht rock and tiki and
decor.
and the Jimmy Buffett thing.
Yeah.
Say no to Margaritaville. Aloha, mahalo, and all that other crap.
And it wasn't Edison that invented the phone. It was Alexander Graham Bell. Did you say Edison invented it? Edison actually perfected. I know.
You always have to be like
Well,
this.
sorry.
This.
Yeah, but the whole thing though is like that's another misnomer to it. Alexander Graham Bell actually didn't invent the telephone. It was his manservant, Manuel.
I'm like, yeah. Just gonna go with it.
Who, Manuel Labor or Manuel? All right, refill. Do we get cut?